I'd like to talk about identity. Our identity as humans, our identity as a member of a nation, our identity as a member of a race. What is our identity, and how do we determine what our identity is? Our identity is closely tied up with our relationship with who we belong to or where we belong. There's an associated video I've uploaded by a Rabbi Abraham Twersky who talks about identity as a Jewish person, and it's to do with belonging. I'd like to make a parallel with this in terms of people with a Jewish identity and who is a Jew and their relationship with belonging to Israel and the nation of Israel and the land of Israel. At the moment there's a conflict about the validity of Israel being the name for that land. That land is the bridge between the south and the north, and there's a great conflict in terms of the nations that surround Israel as to their identity. Should they belong there, and should they have really their name on the map of the world? In the West, there's a conflict between civilization and democracy. There's a conflict between being part of a cultured nation and being part of a democracy, a nation, a group of people recognized by the United Nations. There's a feast coming up for the Jewish people in December called Hanukkah. And Hanukkah is primarily about identity and valuing who they were as a people and as a nation. For many, many years they had been there in Israel. They had been there celebrating feasts, and they had a central place of worship called in Jerusalem, in the temple. But when the Greek culture came throughout that part of the world, through Alexander the Great, one of the following leaders from Alexander was Antiochus Epiphanes IV, and he wanted all the Jewish people to become Greek. So he actually forced the mothers to call the new babies names Alexander, to please Alexander the Great. But he wasn't just happy with the name, he changed the name of Jerusalem into his own name, Antioch. And this has happened with a succeeding number of nations that have tried to take over that part of the world. And they've given their name to the identity of that part of the world. When the Romans took it over, they wanted to call it after Caesar. And even now, with the conflict that's going on between Israel and Hamas and Gaza Strip, the Hamas people want to take over and liberate Israel and liberate Jerusalem. What they really mean is they want to annihilate the whole identity and the name of those people in that part of the world. So identity is very much tied up with a person's name or a land, its name, and recognition by other people as to its name. One of the things about Israel and the Jewish people, they live in a land that is surrounded by nations who are not happy about them being there and not happy about their identity. In the south, with Egypt, now under the control of a president who is part of the Brotherhood of Islam, they attack from the south and from the Sinai Desert. In the east, they have the nations of Mesopotamia, like Iran, Iraq, who attack across the Euphrates River. In the west, we have the nations of Greece and Rome and Europe. And in the north, there are the nations related to Russia. All of those nations will come down, I believe, very soon and attack Jerusalem, the capital city of Israel, because they want to remove the name of that land and remove the people who claim identity in that land. Why do humans struggle with their identity in these days? I believe it's because of a question about the naming. Who gave them that name, and who do they belong to? Do they belong to the creator of human beings, or are they just a part of a whole system of atoms that evolved in the way it did and don't belong to anybody particularly? The name of a person is related to their parents, and there is a great struggle nowadays as to recognising who are the parents, what family is it that I belong to, and who gave me my name. When I changed my name when I got married from Clive Corrin to Clive Rutherford Corrin, did it mean I was a different person? No. And now, recently, I've taken back just being to be called Clive Corrin. That's my family name, Corrin. My parents were the ones who brought me into this world, and they gave me my name. But if I struggle against that and don't want to have my identity related to the Corrin family, then I might decide to change my name. But it doesn't change who I am, my identity. It does change my name. So belonging is very crucial to the whole point of our identity. We need connection. We need to acknowledge who we belong to. We need to acknowledge where we are situated. And at this time, for Jewish people, it's very important for Jewish people to accept that they are the chosen people of God. God chose them. God gave them a name. Through their fathers Abraham, Isaac and Jacob, Jacob's name was changed to Israel. And his name now is the name that is governing and over that land. And their territory is to stretch from the river of Egypt to the great river in the north, the river Euphrates, which involves all the land in between, right up to the Mediterranean Sea, which would include the land of Gaza and the Lebanon, and it goes right across to where the Euphrates River comes out. All of that area is the area that's been given to the people of Israel. So for a Jewish person, it's important for that person to understand their identity as being from the tribe of Judah. There were 12 tribes originally in the nation of Israel. 10 of those tribes went north and were spread throughout the world. 2 tribes, Judah and Benjamin, stayed in the land. And the Jewish people are related to those tribes, the tribe of Judah and the tribe of Benjamin. And so there is a conflict at the moment as to the identity of who is a Jew and where does the Jew belong. I believe one day soon Jewish people from all around the world will have a desire to be in the land of Israel, in the land of where their name is related to. And so for me, as my name, Clive Corrin, I am feeling at this time of my age, I've just retired, I'm feeling a great desire to be related to my family, the Corrin family. And the feeling of independence as a teenager or wanting to go out on my own when I was younger is not there so much. Because I feel at the moment very important that I understand my identity of who I am and where I belong.